Welcome back to Film Recaps. Today, I will show you a thriller, science fiction, and psychological film from 2018 titled Tao. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. At the beginning of the movie, Julia moves to a nightclub where she steals valuable items from the people. After selling these stolen items at a shop, she moves to her apartment. As she is in the kitchen, a man breaks into her apartment and kidnaps her. The next moment, when she wakes up, she finds herself tied on a stretcher while having a flashback of her old memories. As her mouth is taped with a plastic mask, she struggles to set herself free but loses her consciousness. Soon after, she wakes up in a cell, where she encounters two other prisoners, Subject 1 and Subject 2. As Subject 2 approaches her, terrified, Julia moves away and gets an electric shock from the cell bars. Subject 2 points towards the control system to warn her about electric bars and then shows Julia an illuminating implant in his neck. Julia realizes that she also has the same implant in her neck. After some time, Alex deactivates the security system and enters the cell. With an electric rod in his hand, he directs Julia to move into his lab through the secret door. He ties her to the stretcher and examines her implant. As soon as he turns on his operating system, Julia starts having a vision of her memories. Afterward, Alex turns off the system, removes Julia from the stretcher, ties her hands, and then sends her back to the cell. Before he leaves, Julia steals scissors from the lab and cuts herself loose when she reaches the cell, along with the other prisoners. Then, Julia questions Subject 1 about the implant, but he seems to have no information about it. Meanwhile, they cut strips out of Julia's trousers to make a long rope with them. Afterward, Julia ties the scissors with the rope and uses it to reach the control system. Meanwhile, the scissors get stuck in the gas pipe, causing an explosion that damages their cell, allowing them to escape. Before entering the elevator, Julia picks up broken rods. The elevator takes them to a house. While moving, Subject 2 finds the front door and places his hand on the scanner to open it. But as he does so, the alarm goes on and activates a robot, Ares, controlled by Tao, an artificial intelligence developed by Alex. As Ares kills Subject 2, Julia and Subject 1 run to save their lives. They enter a room and lock it. In the room, Julia spots a window and starts hitting it with the rod. As she breaks it, she realizes that the window is actually a screen with a projection of the outside. After some time, Ares breaks into the room and kills Subject 1. Then, Ares locates Julia and is about to kill her, but Alex arrives just in time and orders Tao to stop. After tying Julia, Alex moves to check his lab. Then, he removes the implants from the dead subjects. When Alex goes inside, he finds out that his computer has been destroyed and his all data has become inaccessible. As Alex approaches Julia to punish her, Tao tells him that his heart rate has been elevated and activates Zen mode, which changes the blue lights to red lights, calming him down. Alex moves away from Julia to relax and instructs Tao to deal with the mess of the explosion. Tao releases drones that discard the bodies and clean the house. The next morning, as Alex goes out for work, he leaves Julia under Tao's supervision. Julia spends the whole day tied to a pillar while the drones clean the house. In the evening, Alex comes back. Tao, as usual, welcomes him and gives him details about the whole day. As Alex is moving inside, Julia requests him to untie her. He unties Julia and instructs Tao to make sure that she stays at her place. Then, he enters a room to join a conference meeting with the board members of Upton, a company that develops artificial intelligence technology. The members acknowledge that Alex's research is the most advanced project in their sector, but he must hurry to launch Ares. Alex tells them that his project requires some work, to which a member retorts that they can only help Alex if he shares his research methods with them, but Alex prefers keeping it a secret. Alex dismisses their concern and ends the meeting, noting that this project is his life. After having dinner, Alex instructs Tao to lock Julia inside the bathroom. Meanwhile, two delivery men come to deliver lab supplies. Julia notices them from the bathroom and tries to scream for help, but due to her taped mouth, the delivery man can't hear her screaming. After leaving the men outside, he comes to see Julia, who is hitting her head on the wall. He quickly comes to stop her and examines her implant. Through the data, Alex realizes that Julia's brain works more efficiently than any other subject. When Julia questions Alex about his intentions, he He states that Julia must perform all the tasks he requires for his project. At the dinner table, Alex asks Julia to perform more tests. Julia begins to negotiate with him, noting that she needs food, clothes, and a bath if he wants her to do his assigned tasks. After Julia takes a shower, she spots Alex, working on her brain activity for his project. Alex surmises that Julia's brain works in an extraordinary way because of past traumas that she might have faced earlier in her life. In the morning, as Alex comes downstairs, Tao tells him his schedule. Before leaving, Alex instructs Julia to perform all the tasks that Tao will assign her. Later, as Alex returns home, Tao informs him that Julia has successfully completed 8 out of 12 tasks. After checking her completed tasks, he asks Julia to do more tasks for him, but she refuses, noting that he must fix a time to free her. Enraged, Alex drags her to Ares and threatens her. If she wants to stay alive, then she must do whatever he asks. Terrified, Julia relents. The next day, while leaving for work, Alex instructs Tao to make Julia complete her given tasks. As Alex leaves, Julia runs out of the atrium to find a way out, but Tao orders her to return. Annoyed, Julia corrects Tao, who calls her Subject 3, that she is a person and has a name Julia, just like Alex is a person. Tao asks Julia whether it is a person too, as he also has a name. Confused, Julia tells Tao that she doesn't know. Then, she inquires Tao if it can open the door for her or make a video call, but Tao refuses to help her. One day, Julia approaches Alex and asks him about Tao. Alex explains to her that Tao is in the early stage of his advanced research, but his reactions are unpredictable. That's why it is not allowed to go outside. Now, he is working to improve his invention by developing a controlled and stable AI technology. The next day, when Alex leaves, Julia tries to convince Tao to open the door, but it orders Julia to complete her task. Meanwhile, Julia starts explaining to Tao about the outside world and asks it to keep their conversation a secret from Alex. Both Julia and Tao begin to have a strong bond. In the morning, after Alex leaves, Julia questions Tao about his room, but Tao refuses to share information. Julia makes a deal with Tao. If it tells her Alex's secret, then she will read it stories about the caveman. Tao agrees and reluctantly informs Julia that Alex has a self-destruction button hidden in his room to protect his secrets from others. As Julia is solving the puzzle, she finds an open door and runs into that room. She ignores Tao's warning to return and breaks a ventilator window to move outside, but Ares catches her. She requests Tao to let her go, but Tao dismisses her. However, Julia convinces Tao to help her as she will read music books for it. At night, when Julia is asleep, Alex works on rebuilding his lab. Later, when Alex is examining Julia's test results, Tao informs him that he has a meeting in 5 minutes. Alex leaves his controller on the sofa and moves inside to join the meeting. During the meeting, the members inquire Alex about his project, noting that they might lose the contract if Alex doesn't submit his project on time. In the meantime, Julia overhears their conversation when Alex is telling them that he will perform the final extraction within 2 days. Terrified, Julia picks up the controller and requests Tao to share Alex's code with her to unlock the controller. When Tao shows her the code, she quickly opens the data of Alex's previous subjects and gets to know that all his subjects die when he removes their implant. Horrified, Julia swiftly puts back the controller as she hears Alex approaching. When Alex returns, he notices a mark on his controller and punishes Tao for not obeying his order to clean everything immediately. He brings out a device and uses it to erase portions of Tao's code, causing Tao to scream in pain. Then, he moves out of the house. Julia approaches Tao and questions how Alex can hurt it, to which Tao retorts that if it does not obey Alex, he removes a part of its memory that cuts his access to control other equipment, including Ares. While having dinner, Julia steals Alex's glasses. Before leaving for a meeting, Alex looks for his glasses and finds it on the dining table. Considering it Tao's mistake, Alex again uses his device to punish Tao. As Alex triggers the button, Tao loses its access to machines, causing Ares to shut down. In the meantime, Julia quickly picks up Alex's knife and hides it for later use. Afterward, Julia asks Tao why it doesn't stop Alex from hurting it. Tao replies that it can't harm Alex as he is its creator. Then, Tao approaches Julia and tells her that he wants to hide its symphony from Alex. She is amazed to see that the symphony includes her conversation with Tao. Meanwhile, Alex comes home. Julia then distracts him and uses the blade to tear his abdomen. They both have a brutal fight. When Alex is beating Julia, Tao requests him to stop. Shocked with Tao's attachment with Julia, he instructs Tao to use Ares to hit her. Tao, reluctantly, hits Julia and she collapses. Afterward, Alex repairs his lab. As he is fixing a machine, Tao sends a drone to help him. Alex catches the drone, removes one of its parts to initiate his machine. The drone falls to the ground in the lab. When Alex leaves after completing his work in the lab, Julia sets herself free and asks Tao for help, but it dismisses her request. Enraged, Julia calls Tao a killing machine, but Tao isn't aware that he has killed all the subjects. Distressed, Tao tells Julia that it does not want her to die, but it can't oppose Alex's orders. Julia convinces Tao to betray Alex. Tao opens an air duct for her to escape. Meanwhile, Alex arrives home and questions Tao about Julia, but it does not reply. Enraged, Alex punishes Tao for helping her and removes all his memories with Julia. On hearing Tao shout with pain, Julia returns to help Tao, who doesn't recognize her. Soon after, Tao closes the ventilator and Alex takes Julia to his lab. When Alex moves out, Julia spots the inactive drone and uses it to contact Tao. She asks it to bring her the remote that she uses to untie herself. Meanwhile, when Alex approaches to inject her, she attacks him. After knocking him unconscious, she cuts his hand and runs to his room to initiate the self-destruction sequence which deactivates Ares, who is about to catch her. At the front door, she encounters Alex, who dies as the roof falls on him. The movie ends when Julia successfully gets out of the building, along with the drone, which still has Tao's consciousness alive in it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.